Hello and welcome to the Yarnings Podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is March 17th. It is St. Patrick's Day. I didn't even have it written down. I started my show notes yesterday and then I've had a busy day today, and so I didn't quite get everything all put together, but I'm recording for you anyhow. I've had a bit of a sore back this week, and so I'm trying a new thing by podcasting standing up to see if that helps a little bit. Hopefully I won't move around too much. I'll try to center myself back in my frame of motion instead of wandering around on you. So I would like to welcome new and returning watchers. I am so glad you're here today. We had some more introductions on the introduction thread, and I will point those out to you next time. I have not heard from our impromptu 50th episode winners yet, so if you haven't watched last week's episode, there were several people who won that have introduced themselves in the thread. So, go watch last week's, see if you're a winner. We had a couple patterns up for grabs, so, and message me. I'm Christine on Ravelry. All right, so we have two knit-alongs going on right now. The Conversation Knits, Cal, and the Harmonize, Cal. So, if you have not gone and added your voice into the threads, for the Conversation knit-along, you don't have to have finished anything. For the Harmonize, the rules had you finishing your cowl, so please go and post your finished photo of your harmonized cowl, and we will be drawing for those on, I wrote it down, April 7th, 8th-ish, depending on which day I record, but I'll be closing the threads on the 31st, so go ahead and get your stuff in the threads. Since today's the 17th, you've got just a little while left. All right, let's move into some life stories. This past week, I spent several days down being sick with a cold, on top of the allergies. So that killed my productivity in a lot of ways, and meant that I didn't have quite as exciting other things to tell you about. I'll tell you about my knitting, and we will go with that. All right, so I have a finished object. It is blocking over there, and it is the design project that I've been working on. So I'm not quite ready to show you guys yet, but I did finish that this week. So that was really great. I'm trying to figure out a good way to hold on to this while I stand here. So that I used most of the yarn, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I did a few changes from how I did it last time, and I'm really way more pleased with it. So I'm going to be finishing writing that up and getting it out to some potential testers and see if I can get that done ASAP to share with you guys. It's going to be really cool. And then I have an almost finished object. These are my new growth socks. Oh, I am in the middle of a row. So I was knitting on these today while I was watching my niece take swimming lessons, and it is in the same building as my yoga class, and so I sat and watched while she swam and waited for her mom and brother to come, and got a chance to see her after my class, and that is always lots of fun to get to see the kids. She is 11. She's the subject of Aunt Christine's knitting school, which was supposed to happen on Friday, but then I got sick, so that was too bad. I hate missing out on those, but I was really not feeling very well. Just a head cold. So I'm just stalling while I finish this row here, and then I will show you how far I am on these and where I think I'm going. I had just switched over to the ribbing, so I need to do enough ribbing still so that they will stay up, but I want short socks. So, go 2 socks, 2 heels. So they are that far above the heel, and so yeah, I started 3x1 ribbing, a couple rows back, and so I'll probably go another inch, and those will be done. So that will be easy schmeezy. So almost done. These will be done because I want to cast on another pair of socks. I have another set of needles I could just go ahead and cast on, but I would really rather have these finished. And as you can see, my headphones, when I stick them back in this bag, they always get tangled up. Oh well. Alright. After that, I will show you my Nuvum, which is growing to stupendous sizes. So you can see how much pink I have on there compared to how much purple. It will be a little bit smaller stripe because it's bigger around. I still have, it's stuck inside. Look, there's the yarn. I still have that much left. So I'm getting close. I will probably put a pretty good dent on that tonight when I have a chat with some friends. And then I will add a gray stripe, a similar width as this. And I talked with some friends and realized that I have never made a shawl too big. I have only made it smaller than I wished it would be. So I am going to go ahead with having the beautiful wine color on the outside. So it will be gray, purple, gray, pink, gray, red, and then gray for the ruffle. And Angel sent me some beautiful beads. They're a beautiful white, crystally, almost pearly. I don't know how much of that is the string inside. I think it might just be the white string inside. They are really teeny tiny. So I'm going to try these out and see how they work. My yarn, my Knit Picks Stroll, is a little bit grabby, and so I'm afraid that these might not go on as easily. So this is my backup plan. I also found these on Amazon Prime. And these are amethyst, and they're 8/0, which is usually the lace weight. I think all of my other beads are 6/0. I think all my fingering weight ones I've used for fingering weight. So these are smaller, and I have two little vials of them. So I would need to figure out how many I have and then figure out how many stitches around to place them. So those are my bead options for my Nuvum. Now that I'm getting a little closer, I thought I would share that, and I will for sure use both of them for something. In fact, I could use theoretically both of them. That might make it a little heavy, but that's the Nuvum. And then we've got, I'm sure this is in the middle of a row because the rows are long. This is my Spirited Clouds Cardi. Last week I dropped stitches while I was showing you guys. I'll try not to do that. You can see how far, I guess I could turn it upside down, how far down from the armhole it is. I definitely put some work onto that this week. I haven't measured lately because I know I'm not near 14 yet, but 14 inches is the goal before I do the next design feature. And it's so soft. I really love this Bumble Birch cocoon. It's such a nice base. It is 20% silk, 80% superwash. Bumble Birch in the colorway Atlantic. So that is coming along. The new work in progress that I have is a sweater. I was going to bring the book over here, but I didn't. So this is going to be a sweater for my niece. And I'm not going to really show it on Instagram because those pictures show on Facebook, and I don't want my sister to see. But this is the bottom of it. You can see if I fold it up, that's where the edging, the picot edging on the bottom will be. And so this is the bottom of it. And then when I get to a certain length, which I'm getting close, I think 7.5 inches above the picot. And then I will knit the sleeves. I'll probably do them 2 at a time. And then you attach the sleeves and then work from there. So I am doing it in Knit Picks Comfy Sport. Mostly. This is the colorway Whisker. The pattern is Playful Stripes by Alana Dakos. And it had a creamy color. And since I'm giving the book to my niece, which is Annie and the Swiss Cheese Scarf, I did kind of want them to be similar so that she would identify her sweater was matching to Annie's in the book. But I think gray is a little more practical for a 3-year-old active little girl. So we're going with something just a little darker than the creamy color. I am adding in some colors, and this is Simply Cotton, so it's an older Knit Picks, and it is a yarn that I used for a baby dress for her. Same with the pink. These were used in a dress together. So I'll be putting a little bit of those stripes in there. I've got a little bit of a chocolate and then a honeydew. So I may need to add in something else to substitute for not having very much chocolate. But we'll see. The yoke has nice stripes around, so I can do any pattern I want. I just kind of want it to be recognizable by her as similar to the book. So I made good progress on that this week. Her birthday is the day after mine in April, the end of April, so I still have a little while, but I wanted to get that done so then it wasn't going to be so obligation-y later on. Okay, so those are all of my works in progress. I really want to cast on all the things. As you can see, I've still got stuff, but I'm going to be casting on another pair of socks. I wound up my, oh, where's the label? Here we go. This was my goodie bag yarn from last year's ZK. This is 716 sock, her sock base, merino nylon, and I feel an attack of Dumb Blonde coming on. And it is a delightfully speckled colorway with greens and navies and blues and whites. And so it's going to be a really fun sock. I think it's a little bit thinner than some of the other sock yarns I have. So I might go down to zeros. Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I have to knit with it to tell. And that's okay. I can cast on toes and see how it feels. It might be fine. Might be fine with ones. Ones is my normal. I think that's 2mm. I'm stepping on Post-it note, guys. This is just driving me nuts. I'm sure that is not an important Post-it note any longer. But these will be socks, and I'm going to cast them on before this week. Before the end of this week, when I have things going on that I'll tell you about. The other thing that I wound up this week is my Three Fates yarn. This is one that I bought at Oregon Flock and Fiber a while back. Three Fates. And it is her 75-25 superwash merino nylon base in the colorway Merlin. It's a beautiful, rich purple, coming out just a little shadowy. The light is shining on it just wrong, and so it's kind of desaturating it, but it's a beautiful purple. So I have 2 skeins of this, and these are going to become a Drifting by Cecily Glauc McDonald. And this is going to be an awesome summery cardigan. It's a short sleeve, kind of cropped length cardigan. I will make it as long as I have yarn. I have a little bit more yarn than I need for my size, but I have not swatched yet. So that may also make a difference. And then I still have the green sitting here, my Dancing Dog dye work that I haven't cast on yet. I got a little scared with having to go change sizes because of my gauge, and so that kind of made me a little more hesitant, and that's why I cast on Chloe's sweater to get that going so that then I could work on stuff for me. My goal is to be able to have a whole bunch of stuff for me on the needles in April, because April's my birthday month. Okay, so for spinning a tail, I swear I brought my little spindle thing. There it is, right behind you guys. I did some more spinning this week. My spindle is nice and full and needs to be wound off again. I actually, because my back's been having so many problems, I spun leaning up against the wall. So I found a flat spot in my bedroom and stood leaning like this. And that worked. I mean, it's not ideal to have pain, but you gotta do what works if you want to be able to do stuff. And I did it over top of my bed, so if my spindle dropped, it wasn't that big of a deal. I had something to prop up against as I bent over to get it. And so I'm spinning away. Just a little bit here and there. That is all of the yarnings. All right, let's do some quick stuff through the other things. This is going to be speedy. So this week, Saga of Geekery. This week is Game Storm. Game Storm is an annual board game convention here in Vancouver, Washington, and it is close to us. It's just on one bus ride from the mall to downtown, and so that's very handy. My husband takes off the days, the Thursday and Friday every year, and that way he can go and play all the big games he wants. And then when I go, I tend to play games with just him rather than the other attendees, although I will play a few games here and there. It taxes my brain a little differently when I play with my husband versus other new people. So I am really looking forward to it, and that's why I want to cast on these other new things that are going to be easy to do. My Nuvum is getting a little big for Game Storm, so the socks will probably be my fiber and dice pictures during the weekend, because there's always setup time to new games while my husband learns the rules. If he hasn't played it yet, I'll sit there and knit, and it keeps me happy, and he figures it all out and then is able to explain it. So socks, and I'll probably bring the Nuvum, but it won't be as easy to haul out everywhere. So going along with that, we've played quite a few games of Legendary. The novelty has not worn off. I've tried to alternate that a little bit with a couple of the other games. We played Istanbul, but that might have been before I talked to you guys last week. Splendor, which we hadn't pulled out for a month or so. And Patchwork. Patchwork is our new game. This is a game by Hugh Rosenberg, who is the designer of Agricola and Caverna and a lot of those other big games. And when we saw it, it seemed like a really good theme. It's just a 2-player game, which that works really well for us. And when we went to Rainy Day Games in Aloha when I was on the yarn crawl, we saw it on the shelves and picked it up. The other store had not had it. So I'm just going to show you a few of the little tiles. So you get a bunch of little tiles, and some of them have buttons on them, which are for your income, and you have to pay buttons and you have to pay time. And on the board, you go around in a circle until you get to the center, and there's different income spots, and these pieces are all different shapes. And that one's a patch. All different shapes, and you place them on a rectangle board. Let's see if I can pull out. So you're placing them on a gridded board like this. So you want to be able to place them, like Tetris them in as close as possible. This is the board for keeping track of time, and each color is a space, and when you hit a button, you get your income based on how many buttons you have on your board. And it's really cute, and I love all the different fabrics on it. I mean, you get polka dots, that one's upside down, but you can do them any which direction. You can do them front and back. There's a couple that have heart fabric that make me happy. See, that one has little hearts on it, and so it's really nicely done. And here is your buttons that you use for your income. There's a couple multipliers in there, so a stack of five buttons if you get 5 buttons, and then you can make change with singles. So it's a super cute little game. It really, really is a fun, short one that we can play when we don't have very much time. And I would definitely recommend, if you have a game store near you, that you can try it out. Check and see if they have it, because it's certainly worth checking out with a crafty theme like that. Okay, so then, now watching, we watched the new Shield. Such a good show. And I started Stargate SG-1. I have watched that a gazillion times. At least 10 times through. And so, where Lost was so exciting, one right after another, I am being reminded that Stargate is so many small storylines for the first few seasons that you don't really get a push to watch a whole bunch of them, because you're not really getting deep into a concrete storyline. So I'm enjoying it, but I think that I'll have something else going on in between it that I'll alternate with, and that will make it so that I enjoy both of them a little more. But I did get to watch a little more of it because I was sick. That was the impetus to get started. We also watched an episode of Tabletop. We're a little behind on the current season, but we watched one that had the Council of Verona and another small game. I can't remember. Tortoise and the Hare. Tortoise and the Hare was kind of cute. We enjoy watching those, but I have to be in the right mood to want to sit and watch that rather than relaxing. So I need to find some time to catch up with the newer episodes. That one was like 3 months old, so I know there's quite a few that we still have to watch. And then I've just been watching podcasts, trying to get caught up on my favorites, and I listened to a few more because I'd been out and about, but I was a little behind on watching, so getting caught up. All right, for Book of Cooking, I have been sick since I talked to you last, pretty much. Sick, or we've been out and about, because I recorded on Wednesday, and then I was out Wednesday, Thursday, and then sick Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So last night, I just had Mexican food, just easy schmeezy. Tonight, I'll have some soup from the cupboard. We're not... Some weeks, my husband and I our schedules don't mash up. We don't match up. Let me try that again. And this is one of those weeks. So we'll do some solo food and nothing too exciting. And then at the end of the week, we'll both be at Game Storm off and on. So we'll be eating downtown. Fanciful Chatter, now wearing For St. Patrick's Day, I went to the Y and did my workout, but I didn't have any green workout clothes. So when I was little, my mom always said, we should wear orange because if you're English, you wear orange. And I don't know if that is a real thing or not. I'm going to have to look it up on the internet. So when I was putting on clothes today, I put on the orange. But this shawl is something that I knit out of yarn I got at the First Sock Summit. So there was this company that had these huge skeins of really cheap by the pound yarn. I don't even remember what this is. It's silky something, silky acrylic, I think. And so I did a basic triangle shawl and I dropped stitches periodically. You can see there's a spine down the back. This was just very simple, my own making, but it is huge. And I love that about it. I mean, that's not even tip to tip. So I wear this in so many different ways. I have been known to wear it tied like this, tied often like this, as a shrug. I have even worn it, well, certainly the normal triangle way, except it's a giant triangle. But a couple different times I've worn it crossed funny. I don't remember now. But there are a lot of different ways to wear something this giant, and so I have played with a lot of them. So this is one of my favorite green shawls, and I thought I'd wear it for you for St. Patrick's Day. Now that I am all askew, there we go. I also have green earrings. These are some that reminded me of Christmas balls when I got them, but they actually match the green in my shawl really nice. And then this necklace has nice little green stones in it. So I got all greened up after my yoga, then nap, then getting green for you guys. So that's the now wearing. Do I have any other fanciful chatter for you? I don't think I do today. And then, let's see, happiness continues. I'm really excited about the yoga class that I went to today. Feel like I am getting stronger, and I feel like it's enabling me to figure out how to move my body in a way that gives me that ability to be stronger. And so I'm really pleased with that. And I am glad that I tried out a new teacher, a new time slot. I do need to adjust a little bit for recording because I've had a busier day when I've been going to Tuesday classes. So, and then I have a couple of appointments coming up the next couple Tuesdays. So you might see episodes released a little bit varied, depending on whether it'll be a Monday or a Wednesday release. But I don't plan on going anywhere. If I happen to miss a week, you guys know I'll be back. Some weeks get awfully busy. This week, a short episode was what I had time for. So, other happy things, I'm just excited about Game Storm. I am excited about the time to spend with my husband. We will have a really good time, and I'm looking forward to that. So, I think I'm gonna say goodbye for today. I hope you guys didn't mind the standing version of my podcast for this episode. This seemed to work well, so I might do it again. We'll see. And the little bit disorderliness, but you know, some weeks that's going to happen. So you can follow me around on the internet. I am Christine with a K on Ravelry. I am KDLB, just the letters, on Instagram. And there is the Yarnings podcast group on Ravelry. We have wonderful, fun people that are chattering away, and we would love to have you join in the knit-alongs. You can find show notes with links to everything that I talked about today at yarningspodcast.com. So, till next time, that's the story. Bye.